I've done things that I thought were going to do nothing and just tossed them out and they were big. So I don't have a radar. I don't
Yeah.
have a radar for what. All I can say is that if that Spoon video and these Mulaney things, what they have in common are crystal clear conceptual clarity. I knew I had a very clear plan for how these for what they would be. I might not have had a plan for how we were going to do it, but I knew what they were.
Yeah.
And I think the projects that no one cared about were confused, was not so clear when making them. And you can't always wait for clarity either. Sometimes you just got to say, okay, I'm going to take this idea and kind of mix them together and see what happens. And most of the time it doesn't work. But if the Spoon video and the Mulaney things have anything in common, it's conceptual clarity. The other interesting thing they have in common, though, is extreme schedule difficulty. So with the Spoon video and the Mulaney's, the people were available for an hour. So what that does, though,
don't fuck it up, Brook. Yeah,
it forces me though to have a really solid. This is how we're going to shoot it. This is what we can get done in an hour, and don't be overly ambitious, but also don't undershoot. Get the thing, get the slickest thing for the money.
Good day, filmmaker, and I would argue editor. Is that one of the top things that you go by? Brook Linder, how are you today?
I'm great, Ben. Thanks for reaching out. And thanks for having me on.
I'm
Editor is not true anymore, but it was very much true for a long time.
So you don't edit the stuff that you make now? Is maybe somebody else edits it?
Like, for example, you reached out after the Mulaney things.
Exactly.
Those were all edited by Nick Pizzillo, a wonderful editor who was actually my boss when I was an assistant editor 10 years ago. I've worked with Nick a long time, and I learned everything from him. I've edited a lot of my work, but when it's really important, I can't be trusted.
Interesting. Do you feel like that's a hard thing for a director to do? Because I get the sense if you write stuff and then you're directing, you want to grab all the control you can get, and the edit ultimately, I know the director gets before picture lock and all that, but editing is like how you present the facts. And I feel like a lot of directors wouldn't give that up so easily. Was that a struggle for you?
Yeah, for sure. No, because it's like this. I live in LA. When I moved to LA, I started as an editing intern, and then I was an assistant editor for a while, about a year and a half. And then I was an editor for a couple of years after that, before I jumped to directing. So I knew, I'm a little rusty now, but I knew the ins and outs of what you can do with footage and what the possibilities are, and how to know if something's weak or strong or needs help, how to help it. So you go into directing with that knowledge. Okay, I only need this. I just need a little bit of this. And you have in your mind a plan for how this is all going to click together. And so when you get into the edit, it can be tough to because you need to empower an editor and say, hey, look, you got to make this yours. You got to tell the story that makes sense to you, and not work with the bones of whatever I thought I was going to do.
Otherwise, you're editing, yet you're on your own. You don't have an editor. You're just doing it with some other person.
So it can be tough to relinquish that sense of control. But you know what? It's an illusion anyway. You need someone to come in clean and say, hey, dude, you thought you got this. You didn't.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what you referred to earlier was the John Mulaney ads. I'd argue it's the branded content hit of the year. I haven't seen Vimeo post other branded content as something to highlight. Have they? I haven't seen it.
You heard it here first. Hit of the year.
The music. Let's also talk about the music. The music is so fucking catchy on that. I find it just playing on repeat to just like it. After Richard Kind finishes and then the music kicks in, it makes it so rewatchable, and you're rewatching an advertisement. It's nuts.
The Mulaney stuff has been the past year and a half of my life, and was a really amazing thing to jump on. Man, I've done all kinds of stuff, with all
Yeah.
kinds of people. It was intimidating to come into working with really talented people who are really
Yeah.
gifted. These people are naturally like S tier
Yeah.
performers, thinkers, creatives, writers through the performers. It's intense and it's just been such a joy.
So did it surprise you, Brooke? So I know I think I found on a Radical, what was it? Radical
Oh,
Media said you
radical
got your
me.
first taste of viral fame for directing the music video for Spoon single, "Do I Have to Talk You Into It?" So did this
Right.
surprise you, or was it basically just the culmination of all the work you put in that it resulted in, "Okay, yeah, it's a hit. I knew if you put together so many brilliant people, this was gonna happen."
Man, I don't know. I've done things, dude, that I thought were gonna be huge and they flatlined.
Yeah.
I've done things that I thought were gonna do nothing and just tossed them out and they were big. So, I don't have a radar. I don't
Yeah.
have a radar for what all I can say is that, if that Spoon video and these Mulaney things, what they have in common are crystal clear conceptual clarity. I knew I had a very clear plan for how these for what they would be. I might not have had a plan for how we were going to do it, but I knew what they were.
Yeah.
And I think the projects that no one cared about were confused, was not so clear when making them. And you can't always wait for clarity either. Sometimes you just got to say, okay, I'm going to take this idea and take this idea and kind of mix them together and see what happens. And most of the time it doesn't work. But if the Spoon video and the Millennium things have anything in common, it's conceptual clarity. The other interesting thing they have in common, though, is extreme schedule difficulty. So with the Spoon
Interesting.
video and the Mulaney's, the people were available for an hour. So
Yeah.
what that does, though,
Don't fuck it up, Brooke, yeah.
it forces me though to have a really solid. This is how we're going to shoot it. This is what we can get done in an hour, and don't be overly ambitious, but also don't undershoot.
Yeah.
Get the slickest thing for the money.
People say that about film, which I've also read in articles you said that you favor, is that it forces you to make choices, whereas with digital, you can just be another take, and waste time. Was this shot
That's
on
kind
film? Was
of
it shot digital?
This is digital for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Film, you know what's interesting? Because I know that's the conventional wisdom is, hey, look, when you shoot film, it forces you to have
Right.
extreme clarity on what you're
Yeah.
after, and you can only press record what's gonna. But
Yeah.
I have experienced it going the other way, where I'm guilty of this. I have used film instead of having a very clear concept. I'm a
Oh,
music video guy, so there's a lot of flash involved, okay?
yeah.
So, I've used film when I thought, I gotta kinda be a filmy vibe. I've written
Right.
down shot on film. That's not and I've used it as a crutch before instead of
Interesting.
having a very slick, solid idea. It can
Oh,
go
that's
both
wild.
ways. Film can be a crutch as much as it can help.
I never heard that before. That's an interesting way to put it. So when brands or bands or whoever contacts you, do you feel they know your personal aesthetic and they're, "Okay, we're bringing Brooke in for this?" Or is
Yeah.
it yeah, and then what would you say that is when somebody approaches you? What are they gonna get?
At this point, if they're talking to me, it's typically because of the stuff I've done before.
Yeah.
It looks like 70s stuff,
Yeah.
zooms and things that feel paranoid or just generally maybe not the paranoia so much as generally
Right.
have a retro film aesthetic. I'm describing things. I don't like the way I'm describing my work. But I think that's probably what they think they're going to get. But you know what? I talked to a video commissioner the other day because haven't made a music video in a while, in almost 2 years now.
Okay.
But I talked to a commissioner the other day and he said, "Oh, yeah, I'm calling you because you do ideas, the concept." He means video, music video concepts.
Oh,
Not
okay.
if you go on YouTube, look up the newest, probably 5 videos dropped today, and they're all photo shoot videos. It's artist on a psych or artist in a place or 3 different looks of an artist performing, and they're all slick as hell. They look so rad, but they
Right.
are just looks, different looks.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that. I've never been good at that. I leaned more on like music video concepts.
Okay.
If you are you familiar with Spike Jones or
Yep.
people that did, okay, we're making a backwards video, folks.
Right.
Or okay, this video is upside down. Or this video, that's my interest, is that stuff. So I think with music videos, I'll do conceptual things. With film stuff, it's more, zoomy point of view stuff.
And isn't that what they want on music videos? Because I don't know how that process works when you talk with the band or whoever, but do they want it to stand out, or are they just creating something because they have to create something for the song?
Depends on who you talk to. And
Yeah.
it's a very interesting question, Ben. And there isn't a slick answer across the board.
Yeah.
I think there is a question in the air. There has been a question in the air for a while on if we need to be doing these things anymore.
Right.
Okay. But some artists really want them.
Yeah.
And because it feels, if you don't have a music video, you aren't minted in some way.
Yeah.
I think. I'm
Exactly.
not an expert, I'm guessing. And the labels sometimes can feel like they have to go through this thing. They want to pay as little
Right.
as possible and get
Of course.
the slickest video they can. But they really want they really want the singer to be like right here.
Yeah.
Which I'm guilty of being like, I'm guilty of trying to make the video where the singer is like a dot in the frame. I don't know. To answer your question, there's no clear desire from all
Okay.
parties. I think for the bands, they want what their heroes had,
Yeah.
right? Like
Right.
they want to make a video like that REM video. They want to make something like that
Yeah.
Radiohead video. They want to make something like that Travis Scott video, whatever.
Right.
And for the labels, they want to please the artist and they want an advertisement that sells this record, you know?
Yeah. That just make me look cool, Brooke.
Yeah, no, dude,
That's all they
it's
want.
been said. It's been said, and it's true. And I have also been guilty of saying, "Oh, I don't know how to make you look cool." Like, you gotta
say
meet me
that?
halfway.
And when you direct these, is there somebody from the label there, or they're there with you, or do they let you go through the process of editing and all that and they present, or do they give you notes while you're working? What's that process like?
It can be all different.
Yeah.
I've been on ones where labels know where to be found, and it's just like me and the artist and
Yeah.
Frank Mobilio, cinematographer that I work with on everything. It'll be like us doing the thing.
That's
I've been
awesome.
on ones where it's management and artist, no label. I've been on ones where it's label and artist, no management. I've been on ones where there's
Permutation.
no artist, but labels
What were
there.
you what were you filming
On what?
with no artist?
Oh, dog, you
Just
can.
like background.
No, you learn. That's where you learn. What are we gonna do here? Does that
Yeah.
building look cool? Or sometimes, yeah, the building looks cool. Shoot it.
It's incredible. That's so incredible.
Yeah.
So how did you get started? What's your origin story? Was it
I,
just as a kid, you're like, I'm gonna be a filmmaker?
I got started. So I'm from Missouri. I'm from Springfield, Missouri.
Hell yeah,
Um,
Missouri.
and yeah, you're St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah. I've been
Are
on
are you
44 so many times, passing Springfield.
Doug?
I think in college I dated some, what is it, Simu?
We got MSU in
Oh,
Springfield.
right,
We've
right,
also
right,
got
right, yeah.
Drury University.
Right,
Shout
right,
out.
right.
What? So we grew up there, and I made shorts and music videos. I got my start in high school making music videos for a local band called Someone Still Loves You, Boris Yeltsin. They're a Springfield band, and they signed to Polyvinyl. Have you ever heard of them?
I
They're
have not, but it's so cool. That's a
I know
cool name.
the name is wacky. They signed to a label called Polyvinyl Records, which is a great label out of Illinois. And they gave me my first job. I think I was 17. They gave me
Oh, that's so cool.
$500. I shot a video on a Handycam essentially, and had to deliver in digibeta, make a master, and send it to MTV. That was wild. But that's how I got my start, was doing that. And and making videos in Springfield, really, and then moved out here.
Yeah. That's incredible. And so Ghoul School was 13 years ago. Walk me through the timeline. So you did a Kickstarter for that.
Wow,
It's
yeah.
so incredible. It's 13 years. It doesn't feel like Kickstarter was around 13 years, but here we are
Well,
13 years.
no,
Or was it right around the
yeah,
beginning?
no, it was, and it's funny because a couple of years ago, I met someone that worked at Kickstarter at the beginning of the company, and she was, "Man, you're really familiar." And I was like, "I did a Kickstarter in 2012," and she was like, "Oh my god, you were an early one. I remember your video." Which I thought, "Whoa, that's cool." No, Ghoul School was a project that me and my friend Greg Schultz, we made in college. That was our project. It was like it was at the time, I'm gonna describe this thing for you. It was very novel at the time. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna do this was like Ben, it was groundbreaking. We were
It's good
gonna
film.
thank you. You watched it?
Of course I
Oh,
watched it.
whoa,
It's fun.
sick. Okay, cool. No, but at the time, Ben, you got to understand, we're gonna do a Spielberg, Joe Dante, 80s. Is it scary or is it funny? Throwback type thing.
Yeah.
This was before Stranger Things and shit. We were trying to like, is this groundbreaking? Are we geniuses? And so we raised some money and we got access to all the high schools in Springfield, Missouri. They let us shoot in there and we went ham. And you've seen it, so you know that we blew those high schools up. And we would blow up a school, we'd blow up a classroom, right? Go ham, and the school would kick us out. You cannot come back. But before they could contact the school board, we were on
You'd
to the
find
next
another school.
school, blowing their classroom up, and then moving on. And so by the end of it, they were like, "No more, you're out." But we were like,
The
"We
school
got it,
district of Springfield.
we got it." I don't know.
That's
We were too young. We didn't.
incredible.
I don't know.
Did they see it? Did they have any interest in seeing the film after you put it out?
Who knows? Probably not. Probably not. I think they were
It's
mad.
fun.
I know they banned shooting after that. I am sorry, but
So if there is some kid in Springfield listening to this and they
no,
can't film anywhere,
I
it's
know. No,
you. You
I've heard since they shut it down. But we were I wouldn't do it now. We were naive. We didn't know.
Right.
We also, this is silly, but I didn't think we were going to make that big of a mess. And then you're doing the shot and you need to make it look bigger. So you like, let's get more stuff in there. We were moving faster than we couldn't. Yeah, it was, yeah, that was a big experience. Greg and I, we finished that short and did festivals. It was really
Okay.
fun. And then Greg got a job working at Shout Factory. Are you familiar?
Nice.
They do Blu-ray, DVD re-releases of movies. He got a job working there. And I moved with him to LA.
Okay.
We moved to LA
Nice.
2013 and I got an internship as an editing intern at a post house, and that I've been here ever since.
Nice. So brand work, most of the time I wouldn't be talking with you if you've been working on brand work because it's anonymous, right? No
Yeah.
brand wants to have the creator be the star of the show. So what has that been like? How have you been able to get your name out there while also doing music videos and then not make everyone feel like the Springfield High School? Did it piss anybody off? Have you ever had conversation where somebody be like, I don't want to hear about you, Brooke. I want to hear about the video. How has that journey been where you've been directing and keeping your head down, but also being able to keep clients?
Branded stuff is tough, and I've had mixed success on that. I'm still
Yeah.
working, so
Yeah.
I've made it happen.
Been successful.
But it's a mixed bag. I think
Yeah.
I've had personally all kinds of relationships with it. I've had times where I was really into it. I've had times when I was really not into it. You do this job is hard to have, hard to keep.
Yeah.
You do whatever you can. And I think when it comes to your growth as a director, as a creative person, as it's easy to fall into feeling like this branded stuff isn't worth it. Isn't
Yeah.
worth like they pay more money, but they take all your time.
Right.
And
The creativity. Yeah.
yeah, and it's easy to think, "Oh, I'm not getting anything out of this." But I've learned as much on glorified infomercials as I've learned making shorts. And
Right.
for real, because when it comes down to it, this job is all about how to navigate a shoot day.
Yeah.
And it's so tough because as a director, like you're not on set that much.
Right.
And so you have to learn when you learn on the job when the risk is so high. And so their branded stuff, you just learn so much. It's impossible not to. It's impossible not to. As far as being anonymous, I think that can be a good thing
Yeah.
because it's good to work to have to to put your head down and work on something that doesn't involve your perceived body of work. Solving intense technical problems or schedule problems or talent problems or whatever when your name isn't on the line is very
Right.
helpful, and you just build muscle that way. I've learned so much doing branded stuff. I also have done dumb things that maybe were not like I have been guilty of trying to inject my
Mhm.
creative whims into stuff that didn't need it, didn't serve the material. I've been on every side of it. So,
Do you think
does
it's
that
harder
answer your
for
question?
somebody?
I don't know.
It does. Yeah. Do you think it's harder for somebody to get into it now than it was 12 years ago with
Yeah,
the
certainly.
creation of phones and all that? Is it
Certainly.
harder?
When I moved to LA in 2013, there was a revolution happening. It we they were For context, it was just a couple years into Red and Airy coming in with these digital cameras. Suddenly you could make ads for that used to cost $2 million. You could make them for 200K, make them for 20K. And there was still ambiguity on should we be making ads for the internet? It sounds so stupid. But these
Right.
were conversations that were happening where, wait, we should make ads that'll be pre-roll on YouTube or pre-roll on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever. These were the conversations that were happening. And the budgets weren't high enough to attract top tier talent. So they had to hire kids to do this stuff. They had to hire me to do this stuff and my friends because they couldn't afford the good people. So
Hilarious.
we snuck in making a short doc for a magazine that was sponsored by X or small film for Ray-Ban or whatever. That was
Yeah.
that era, was doing that type of stuff. Now, what I've seen is that now that money that they would pay for those things just goes straight to the talent
Right.
who makes the commercial themselves. I sound like I'm 3 trillion years old. But that is things that it's moved that direction where now the money will go straight to the influencer. No longer is there a filmmaker and a crew going to make a film around this person to sell sunglasses. Now the money just goes straight to them. They film themselves. And it's for the consumer. I'm not an expert. I assume it's
Right.
more authentic and whatever. I can't speak to any of that, but
Yeah.
that's what I've seen. So to answer your question, I think it's harder to break in now because there are just less opportunities. And dog, what do you hear about LA now? The industry as a
Yeah.
whole. What do you hear
Right.
about?
Exactly.
It's contracting. So
Yeah.
there just aren't as many opportunities. At the beginning of this 2012, 2013, there was a massive influx of cash from the tech companies. Not just what you got from that were seasons of shows on Amazon and stuff, of course, but what you also got from that at the bottom, at my level, was a lot of cash there. I don't know, Jaguar wants to make a short film.
Yeah.
That was going
Exactly.
around. And I don't know if that's happening as much.
And now you have to worry about somebody putting in AI, make a Brook Linder music video, and then it
Yeah,
does it alright.
that's
Are you concerned about that at all in the next
I
5
don't
years?
look, I'm not trying to be on a podcast talking about AI.
Right.
But no, my dad is probably gonna listen to this, so sorry, Dad, because I don't think we've really had this conversation. But my dad was a photojournalist for our local paper, the
Oh, cool.
Springfield News Leader. Okay, it was his. He was there for 40 years, and it went through all these eras. And the paper was really felt like the center of the community. It was, and his photos were sick. There was so much craft that went into his work. Anyway,
Yeah,
I what I saw growing up was tech came in and the paper couldn't figure it out, and it still exists technically, but it's
right,
not. It's gone. It's
right.
gone, and his medium is gone too. It still exists. People are out here taking pictures, but it's not what it was. And
I love that answer. Yeah, no, and that's going.
yeah, dude, I don't know where it's going. I don't
Yeah,
know what's going to happen. I don't know if this ends up being a tool that we all use to just, I want to add smoke into the sky or something. But my gut is that what I've seen is people with money, will cut the
yeah,
budget wherever they can. And
exactly.
of course, they don't want crews out there shooting. Of course, they don't want to pull a permit. Of course, they
Right.
don't want to pay your day rate. They don't want to pay for 2 cameras. They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay for makeup. They don't want to pay for anything. And that might be the future.
Yeah,
It might just be my dad in 1985. There were two papers. There was an AM and a PM, and you would get the film in by this time so they could develop it, and and all the infrastructure went away. And you might say that's progress, but there's something really whatever. You know what
yeah.
I mean? I
No,
think that shit's
completely.
really cool. And I think what we do is really cool. And I love all the jobs. I love all the parts of it. I love how this medium is infinitely deep. You can say, I'm just going to go on a nosedive into sound design. That is endless. There's an ocean to discover with sound design. My fear is that this just makes everything really shallow, and that we don't having specialized people that do all these jobs makes this an interesting medium. This is the
Yeah,
coordination of people, of dozens and dozens of people. You see the credits on these movies, hundreds of people coming
yeah,
together, doing their part on a tiny little piece of this thing. Now, the second that isn't financially viable for the people with the money, they will cut all of it. It will all go away. And yeah, there's just something really shitty about that. And
yeah.
I don't know. Are you familiar with Daniels, with those directors? They made Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They started as music video people. I saw one of them, Daniel Kwan, did a talk about this the other day, and it made me really emotional. I have not seen anyone talk about AI in this way. It's emo, but this feels shitty, and it's important to
Yeah,
acknowledge that it does feel dire.
yeah,
And also there's grief involved with the thing that you love is probably going away,
yeah.
right? Like the thing that's on your hat, dude, you think they're going to be using that in 10 years? No. But there's something so iconic and intrinsic to
Right,
the process that those things have. Of course it's sentimental, and I don't want to be sentimental. I don't want to hang on to things that aren't relevant, but
right.
I can't help but
Yeah,
feel bad.
that's an incredible answer. So, does this mean that you're might be transitioning to working more on your own projects? We haven't talked about Time Code, which came out in 2022, which is another just really interesting film. Definitely recommend people go watch it. On No Budge, you have a director's commentary, which is cool. So, are you contemplating moving to working on your own projects, Brooke?
Yeah, it's funny, that was always the goal. I
Yeah, exactly.
I but I wanted a career. I wanted to make a living doing this,
Yeah,
and
right.
so I
Great.
moved into doing what I did. But also I've always, I think, successful to me, I've always been able to put my little ideas into the videos, into the music
Yeah.
videos and into the shorts and whatever, into the Mulaney show, whatever. So I've always been satisfied that way. If things if those outlets go away, yeah, I'll make my own things.
Which is also fucking hard to do. It's not like it's, "Oh, I'm just gonna transition to spending 500K on making my own
Yeah,
stuff," I mean, yeah, okay, I wish, but
I
it's
know.
hard to do.
Yeah, I and that actually, yeah, it's an uncomfortable part of this stuff, which is there was how to say it? I have no problem figuring out how to make things like me and Frank have made low budget music videos forever. Like we know how to do shoots for nothing,
Yeah,
but I think where how to get work seen
right.
is not clear. It's
Yeah.
not, especially when all of everybody's a filmmaker now. Anyway, this is like dire now. Why, how did
No,
you did this?
well, I did. So let's find a better topic here. So, is there anything you can talk about that you're working on next? So, the Mulaney video came out, highlighted on Vimeo. Have you
Yeah.
seen work? People contact you, say, "Hey, Brooke, I want you to make a video." What's the next year look like for you?
Yeah, the response has been rad. Those ads were not we we had to make those to promote the show. I'm
Right.
not even full transparency, I'm not even sure they drove traffic to the show, but we had a blast making them and people liked them a lot. And that
Yeah.
was very unexpected and felt great. So the response has been rad. I'm right now, it's funny to do a mini retrospective here. I am right now finishing up a short music doc that I
Ooh.
shot in 2013, the beginning of 2013, with the band that I started with, Someone Still Loves You, Boris Yeltsin. So it
What?
back then they were they were just an indie rock band from Missouri.
Right.
They picked that name randomly. It was a joke that it was just a cool to have a long name back then. It was just, but they got contacted at that time by the Boris Yeltsin Foundation in Russia to come and
Wow.
play a show. So I went with them and filmed it. And
In Russia?
yeah, we went to Boris
Oh,
Yeltsin's hometown and it was a very odd experience and I filmed it all. And I didn't know at that time, I was 22.
yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know how to make a documentary for sure. I didn't know how to edit one together. I didn't know I couldn't really put it together. I didn't know what to do. And I moved to LA and and I just started working. And over the years I'd get back into it, think, "Oh, I think I know how to tell this story now. I think I can put this together." Um, but I could never really pull it off. Not really. Not do justice to it. But when we finished Mulaney 2 months ago, I opened it back up and got to working on it in advance of that band. The label's doing a 20th anniversary of one of their albums. So we're putting that out in a couple weeks. And I'm really proud of it. It feels like a big moment for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't, like I think who knows, 30 people will watch it or something, but it feels like a serious full circle thing.
And how are you putting it out?
Polyvinyl is going to put the record company is going to put it out. I don't know if they're going to
Okay.
they'll do some premiere. I'll send
Okay.
you. We're actually. I think I'm getting emails about this right now.
And,
So
they're gonna
I'll.
invite you to the premiere, right, of your film? Like,
Do you think there's going to be a premiere? Ben,
you said the
um,
premiere.
No, but like they'll do it online. They'll do. I think it's going to be classic music video stuff. They'll get a publication to do a write up.
They should have a
Yeah,
premiere for it in Springfield, Missouri.
I dug it. That's what I'm saying. I know. No, I don't.
Not at a high school, but at the
Yeah,
name. What is the name
yeah,
of the theater? It's John. I'm trying to remember. There's a theater there.
yeah. There's Hammond's. There's Hammond's Hall. There's
Yes.
like
Yep.
yeah,
That's what I'm
there's a
thinking.
venue. But there's a I when I lived in Springfield, I worked at the independent theater. The local one's called Moxie
Okay.
Cinema. You got to hit
Yeah.
it up if you get down there. It's sick.
Do you make it back often to
Yeah, because my parents are there. So I'll go back.
make
I'll go back 2-3 times a year.
drive?
And I've driven, I've flown. I
I've
like to go back there and shoot.
Okay.
I like to shoot there because it looks different to LA, and it's a little friendlier maybe to shoot.
So, Brook, Indie Film Podcast, love hyping other people's projects.
Yeah.
It's clear just from this whole conversation that you've been supportive of everyone you work with, which is really cool. Is there a film or filmmaker that you wish more people knew about?
Yeah, there's a filmmaker. He's a director. His name's Ben Brewer. He's
Okay.
a VFX guy. He did VFX for. He's a music video. I know him from music video world. He and his brother used to direct music videos, but he's moved into films, and he's a VFX whiz. He did a lot of the effects on the Daniels movie on Everybody Everywhere All at Once. He did a lot of the effects on that. He's made his own films. He has a short film that went to Sundance a couple of years ago that bears a striking resemblance to a movie that just came out. Interesting. But he last year, 2 years ago, he shot a movie with Frank Mobilio, DP that I work with a lot, called Arcadian. And it's like a creature feature. It's people locked in a house and there are monsters, okay? But they shot it in a really crazy way. And he did the VFX in a really crazy way. And I don't think another thing that I worry about, how do movies get seen by people? I don't
Yeah.
think when you're scrolling Hulu and you're Arcadian, it's on there right now. Arcadian, you see the poster and Nicolas Cage, and you're kind of, I don't know, like
Yeah.
it's natural, but click on that movie and watch it because it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. And I know he's going to do sick shit. In 5 years, you'll be, oh my God, that's the guy he was talking, you know what I mean? His masterpiece is yet to come. And you heard it here first. I'm putting all my money on this guy.
Love that. Love that so much. So do you ever, when you're scrolling, do you ever watch the trailers? I get myself in trouble
Oh yeah.
from just watching too many. My wife is, I don't want to watch trailers for the next hour and a half. You need to pick something. And like,
I'm all trailers. Dude, I'm a trailer guy though. I think trailers I'll watch hours of trailers, dude. And we could talk about trailers for an hour.
Yeah.
Really?
Do you feel that could be something? Do you do that? Because I think music videos, 2:30 runtime.
Yeah,
trailers,
yeah.
Similar time. Feels like you might, have you done, I'm sure you have done trailers for.
I have, but I've done the odd trailer, but that's a whole industry. And when I first got into editing, my dream was to pivot there. But my other dream was to like make directing a profession. So I went that way.
Yeah.
I think because you know how trailers work. It's a bake off. They get a cut. They send the same footage out to all these companies. All of them cut together. Oh yeah, it's a bake off.
And then they send off. They choose one.
Yeah. They audition.
Or two.
Dude. They audition. It's punishing. Yeah. And I might be wrong. If you have trailer people that we don't do that anymore, legit. But from when I remember, I knew people that worked at trailer park and stuff. Everyone's after the same, and they all do their versions of Fantastic Four trailer. And so,
and if you don't make it, you don't get paid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh wow,
this is Hollywood, Ben. This is Hollywood.
Oh my
no,
God.
It might be. You know what we've also seen in the past 5 to 10 is a consolidation of the companies all have their internal people now. So they have their people that do this. They have the people that do this. There isn't as much outsourcing. That comes in waves, I guess. But yeah, traditionally trailer editing is a bake-off, which I love that challenge because I want to be that sounds great. I think I can beat them. And then you get just trounced in the third, and you're, oh, that was sick. But that's in another life, I would have gone there and
Be doing
baby,
trailers.
I would have been great.
Filmmaker Brook Linder, this has been so much fun. I'll definitely hype the premiere of
Oh,
your
hell
new
yeah, thank you.
documentary. Please let me
Yeah,
know when that comes out.
I will, I
This has
will.
been so exciting, and I look forward to having you back on when you've got another film out there. I'd say next few years to expect a lot from you, Brook.
Oh, Ben, thank you so much, and thank you for reaching out. I really appreciate it. Thank you.